car talk today just because I'm going to lift at the school rec center. It's only like, a 2-second ride on the bike. And as funny as it would be to like try to mount the camera on the bike, I'm more than likely to end up just falling off, getting snapped. And it would, I guess it would be funny, but uh, maybe eventually. How about that? Keep an eye out for the bike talk. I guess that would be kind of funny. But no, actually kind of an early lift, so it's only like, God damn. I always look to the fucking microwaves for the time, but it's never right because I don't. Our electricity just keeps going out randomly at night. So only 11 because I'm gonna drive back home tonight. So once I'm done with class, I want to just be done, and I've got a little 2-hour window between now and my next class. So, I mean, let's say you're, college student, normal schedule. You got an hour and a half in between classes. I know your fucking school has a rec center. I know it for a freaking fact. It's not, I mean, well, I guess it could be a little bit more of a time commitment if you're going to shower afterwards. I mean, I've gone to class sweaty before, but I don't really love doing it. Don't really love going to class like that, but you got to do what you got to do. So for back, considering it, so the only reason I'm going to do back in this little kind of shorter time frame is just because back doesn't take me that long to hit. Like oh shit, whoops. Like if this were a leg day, I would not want to do legs right now. I would just save it for later so I can have as much time as I want. But my back workout, once I do like maybe a 10-minute warm up, the actual 8 sets of working sets, or the 8 working sets of the workout, it's only going to take me, honestly, probably like 30, 40 minutes. The time commitment isn't so crazy with just days that are one muscle group. That's pretty much how I end up going about it because arm days and leg day, I guess chest and shoulders now are kind of my longer lifts. But when I just have back, if I'm like, using my time effectively, I could finish a back workout in 30 minutes and be very satisfied with it. You don't have to sit in here for I'd say more than 45 minutes for one muscle group. You're either resting too long or you're doing too much volume. It gets a little funky though, because when people say that, I'll see a lot of comments, not just on these videos, I mean, in any. It's like, if you work out hard, you can't train for more than an hour and a half. I think that gets a little bit cheesy, but based on what I would say, like the proper amount of volume is for one workout, well, let's just say one muscle group. If you're only taking a couple minutes rest in between sets, by the time you've done around maybe 8 or 9-ish, that kind of area, obviously I've been doing 11 for a while. I'm trying to lower the volume. But by the time you've done around 8 hard working sets for a single muscle group, assuming the sets were, good and hard, you should be around fully pumped. And I'd say that's probably your cue to, go home and eat some food. So I'm going to slam this, get on the bike, zip over, and we can cut to our first working set. I'm sure it'll be a back movement. I really couldn't tell you what it's going to be yet. So any of you perfect form fanatics, I'm sure you'll be very pleased with this first set. Because instead of just trying to do the whole stack, double arm rows, swing it around, based on that last opener that I did for the last back day, which was like kind of an underhand hammer strength row, I liked the feeling of starting off with something like relatively light and controlled, but still getting a really hard squeeze. So instead of starting with like a, kind of a brutish swing the weight around set, use a ton of fucking weight, I'll be a little more controlled with this one. I think an even mix of both kinds of sets is going to do you good though. This is just a little bit of change of pace because usually I start with something really heavy. I don't start with more of an isolation or, well, let's say squeezing movement. One more like that. There's merit to good form, but I think there's merit to sloppy form too, in a sense. What's really probably most important is just the intensity you bring to the table on whatever sort of style of set that you want to do. But those did feel pretty good. I think I'll do some kind of pull down next. Typically, I'm more of like a straight bar pull down fan, but I do love the mag grips. They're kind of cool. It almost gives me more of like a deeper, well, I can go deeper on the rep with the mag grips than I can just with the pull downs. They're both good, but it's just a different feeling. So I'm not going to try to do the whole stack. Actually, I'll even go a little lighter than this. But at least for the first couple reps when I'm strong, I'm going to do pretty controlled reps. But once I get kind of weak, I'm not going to mind doing some swinging partials. You know, even though the range of motion might only be like up here, I'm still flexing my lats like crazy. Oh, okay. All right. Let's go back to seated rows, but do them in a very different way than before. Oh. Instead of light, slow, controlled reps, I got the stack. Gonna swing it around a little bit. And in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, time to do some damage. Now let me get a song going good. All right. All right. Oh shit. All right. So that drop set was a little more of a wider grip, and I was kind of feeling more upper traps, Terry's major, shit like that, instead of probably mainly lats on that first heavy part. Let's do some pullovers. So I was getting ready to do 2 sets of just, cable pullovers, but they're all taken. So instead, I'll pick another lat focused movements, pull-ups. Now I'll do, I'm not just gonna do assisted pull-ups, I can do a pull-up. Oh, sort of. It's close enough, whatever. So I'll do a set with no assistance and then turn it into a drop set by adding assistance. The assisted pull-up too, it's like, don't be fooled. It is a perfectly sick movement. It's kind of giving me the squeeze of a pull down, but I'm actually using, like, somebody was just telling me that the cables I wanted were open now, but now I'm already right here, so whatever. Well, whatever. So assisted pull-ups is good, especially end of the lift. Okay. Just one of those is fine. Let's go do pullovers. I'm not just gonna do double arm pullovers, but I will do both arms at once. Because if I threw a rope attachment on here, just something about it I don't love. I'd rather do one at a time. So instead of just doing, 20 reps on the right arm and 20 on the left, I'll do 5 on the right, 5 on the left, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, until I feel like I've done enough, and then we can go check the back pump. Nothing too complicated here. I mean, just try to squeeze your lats. Let's go check the back pump, man. We're done. Okay, is that am I? Oh yeah, we're pretty much centered. So, dude, this shirt is fucking badass. I went to Goodwill yesterday. This was one of those finds. Dude, you can't beat that kind of shit. I will say I found this badass Cybex shirt, from, it's got to be the 90s, a little Cybex logo here, and then that big kind of swirl on the back. But it's a large. I thought I could fit into it, but it's too tight. But I'll still keep it around just for historical value. But this pump, I mean, not my craziest lift in terms of the intensity, but every set I definitely pushed it pretty hard. And I mean, not being that intense is kind of just part of the fucking deal with cutting. Obviously I can't just sit on the whole stack and smack fucking set after set. I get a little bit more fatigued. But squeezing sets, followed by kind of, muscular, beefy, egotistical swinging the weight around sets. That sounds about fucking right. Actually, I didn't even do that much of that. I only did that for the cable rows. So let's see what we're working with lat spread wise. Dude, that is fucking badass. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh. All right, let's hit the lat spread. And do I have to lose the shirt? I feel like I'm missing out on potential striations and whatnot. I think I've got to lose the tank just for the back shots. But that was a good pump, and it only took me, I mean, like I predicted, 30 minutes. That was like super quick. I mean, 8 sets, maybe what, 45 seconds of actual set, and then minute and a half, 2 minutes of rest. So let's say, be generous, 3 minutes per set, 24 minutes. Obviously, I took a little bit longer than that, but you get the idea. You don't have to sit here forever. Get in here, throw some weight around, and leave. But yeah, let's see what we're looking like tankless. Come on. Oh, okay. Obviously the back is oh my god. I can already see the veins poking out. Dude, I love a fucking back pump. Oh. Okay. I'll have to review those shots later on. But there's gonna be no car talk because I rode the bike here. So I think actually no, we can do a little upstairs lobby talk. I brought some food. Yeah, that'll be perfect. So I'm gonna look at these clips, say to myself, dude, holy fuck. And then we can we can cut to that next little eating part. All right, don't get your hopes up. This is not going to turn into a mukbang channel. But I mean, food is a pretty big part of all this. I guess it's kind of weird for me to not include it. So I've packed 2 little ham and cheese sandwiches. 30 grams of carbs. No, what am I talking about? So it was 2 of those keto buns. So 1 gram of fat each, 3 grams of carbs each. And then there's like bread protein in there too, but I mean, that's BS. It's not real. I don't count it. Then the ham's about 30 grams of protein worth. Maybe like, I think it said 2 grams of fat and like 3 grams of carbs. And I would have put fat-free cheese on these, but I mean, a slice of American on each, it's really not that bad. I mean, yeah, it is 50 calories in one slice of that little like American cheese, but whatever, I can take that hit. It tastes pretty good too. You can't just eat cardboard on a diet and expect to be able to stick to it, unless you got some crazy mental toughness. I'm all for like pushing through my boundaries of like being hungry because I want to make progress for dieting down, but I want to eat food I like too. And it's not like you can't do it. I wouldn't even say I'm a firm believer because I've seen it. I've seen it work. Tracking your macros, calories in, calories out, like if it fits your macros style dieting, I find to be the most effective method. But it also takes the most effort on the dude doing it. Well, on your end, because let's say you do a diet of, like let's say somebody did a diet of protein only. They didn't eat any carbs specifically. The only thing they made sure they ate was protein, like meats, beefs, chickens, steaks, eggs. Like if you did protein only, you wouldn't even have to count your macros. If you just ate protein all day, I'm pretty certain you would get lean because you wouldn't have a lot of carbs in you. Protein is a pretty filling kind of food, right? You'd probably be in a deficit and get leaner. But that's like bare bones method. Just only eat this sort of food and that's it. Now, don't take that as a recommendation to just eat protein only. That's not what I'm saying, right? But what I am saying is like that's the most basic sort of style of diet I can think of. Whereas when you put more effort into it, like what I'm doing here, where everything I eat, I track the macros, I have it plugged into the app. I'm like watching how much I eat so far throughout the day so I don't eat too much too early so I can still have food at night. And then every time I eat something, I have to weigh it out. Or if like I'm eating a steak that doesn't have the nutrition label on the back, I have to look it up. It takes a little bit more work, but you get the most benefits because you can pretty much eat whatever you want. You just have to be careful about it. You know, in my whole day, I want to have it pretty evenly spread out so I don't get like really full at one point and then really like hungry at another point in the day. But I could eat like a couple slices of pizza. All it's going to be is, 80 grams of carbs plugged into the app, probably 40 grams of fat, which is like a big chunk. I wouldn't really want to do that. But if I stayed under my little limits that I set for myself every day, which I know is keeping me in a calorie deficit at 2,500 calories, then I could sit here and eat donuts, just protein shakes, and pizza. And if I still hit 250 grams of protein, 50 grams of fat, and 250 grams of carbs, I would still get leaner. I just saw a comment where a guy was like, he basically said, if you ate 1,000 calories a day of just donuts, you will get fat. And I replied to the comment, I'm like, I disagree. It's not even, it's purely thermodynamics. Every day, your body, let's just say a hypothetical lifter, his body with doing his cardio in the morning and his workout at night. Well, I guess if I say do his cardio in the morning, that's not realistic for you. But no, let's say he does his lift every night and then he goes home, he does his whole day like normal. His body needs 2,500 calories to operate and stay the same weight. So if he eats 2,000 calories worth of Skittles, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, chocolate milk, protein shakes, eggs, whatever, if he eats 2,000 calories total at the end of the day, he will lose weight. And if he ate 3,000 calories worth of chicken, rice, vegetables, salads, like conventionally healthy foods, he's still going to gain weight. It's in terms of changing how much you freaking weigh, it's just a numbers game with the calories. Now, obviously, in the context of lifting, you want to get your gram per pound of protein, and don't go too crazy with the fats. On a cut, I wouldn't want to really go below 50 grams because your body kind of uses fat to make shit. Like, you got cholesterol, all sorts of random shit going on inside you. But I wouldn't really want to go above maybe 150 or 200 when I'm bulking because it's not really going to contribute to my fullness in terms of carbs. It's kind of just more energy. So that's kind of my 2 cents on the matter there. And that may not really be a recommendation for you. Like, obviously, the best method is for you to just look shit up and then find out what works for you. You know, I didn't just spawn in with all this knowledge. When I was a starter lifter, I didn't know jack. But there's just so much information out there on the internet. If you can sort of pick and choose what makes the most sense and is actually understandable and, internalize that and then try to expel all of like the stupid nonsense in terms of this whole fitness, lifestyle, bodybuilding, etc., then you can fucking learn a lot of shit. But you have to apply some effort with your freaking brain. So, getting back to the back workout, I guess I went on a whole dieting tangent because I've got food in front of me. I like slow controlled reps. I also like quick and kind of swinging reps, As long as I like thrash my back and I get a pump, that's all I want. Like if you can feel, I mean, like don't just copy my workouts exactly either. Like take inspiration from some movements. I do the same thing when I watch other people work out. Even just in the gym, if I see someone do something that I haven't seen before and it kind of like gives me a little itch to try it, then yeah, I want to try new stuff all the time. But you got to do things that feel good for you, which you can like kind of understand what benefit you're getting from it. if I did a set of, let's go back to yesterday. My final set of chest was a set of cable pec flies in front of me, and then a drop set to cable pec flies kind of bent over. Now, if I saw someone else do that set and I asked them, "Hey, why are you doing that?" and they said, "Oh, well, I saw this guy do it. It probably works." So let's that's lifter A. And then I saw another guy do it, and he said, "Oh, well, I want to really pre-fatigue myself with those heavy flies, but then really get a good stretch and squeeze at the bottom of the rep with the lighter sets." That guy, I can almost guarantee, is going to have a better set because in his mind, he's doing it with a purpose. He's not just doing it because he saw someone else do it, right? So that's I guess that's what I'm really trying to say is when you're doing something, try to understand why you're doing it, and that can sort of motivate you to do it harder. If you go into the gym to do an arm workout and you're doing some curls, and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, these curls are fucking hard," how are you going to have a good set like that? Now, if you're thinking in your mind, "Okay, if I squeeze really fucking hard on these curls, I'm just going to thrash them, and then when I go home and eat, they're going to grow," then you'll really fucking get into it. I guess that sort of just comes down to like whether or not you're, not how bad you want it, but like, if you're pretty serious about this kind of stuff, then you should be excited to go to the gym. I can I don't know if I just like haven't hit the wall yet, but I don't really understand when people are like, "Oh, I just had to take a couple weeks off. I just needed to take a break." It's like to an extent I like almost can't even fathom that. So we're really kind of getting onto a rambling session now. I think I'll finish this one sandwich and then we can cut it. So the rest of my day is going to consist of a technical writing class talking about like reports on memos and stuff in the actual field of whatever. It's kind of mumbo jumbo. And then an econ class, and then I'm done. So I've got. Did I plug in the macros for this already? I think I did. Yeah, okay, I already tracked it. So it's all right. It's about noon-ish now. Now I'm like 12:30. I'm at 1,000 calories, including this sandwich and fuck. Did I track it yet? No. I also have my shaker cup is full of 2 cups of the Carb Master chocolate milk. So that's in each serving 11 grams of protein and then 14, no, 11 grams of protein and then 7 grams of carbs each. So I just plug that in. So now after this, and this, I'll be at 1,200 calories. That's pretty much perfect. So I'll try to be conservative with the rest of them throughout the day so I don't have to go to bed hungry. But after that, cardio in the morning, and then I'm done. There may be another clip after this, maybe not. I guess you'll find out in like 3 seconds. There we go. Got the air freshener in frame too. I actually got a couple complaints that it was out of frame, but that was a pretty solid back day. I tell you what, when I looked over the clips of the posing, it almost felt like my upper back got so pumped, like my traps and stuff, that I started to lose separation. Which, I mean, that's not unheard of. That's the same thing with, I would say, triceps and quads mainly. Whenever they're like fully pumped, it's just it's bigger, obviously, which is cool, but you don't have that kind of separation and like potential, let's say, grain that I'll have when I'm cold. Like if I flex my tricep now, I can almost start to see some more stuff going on. Same thing with my quads. But once they're pumped up, like sure you get the general shape, but kind of the separation between everything gets a little bit blurred. I'd say probably same thing with hamstrings. But that was the first time I actually noticed it on back. So I guess I did a little bit of something pump wise. I'm I'm strapped for calories right now, so I'm driving back to the house, the parents' house. Damn, it's 5:20, and I'm already at 1856 calories. You know what that means? That means I only have 650 left with this, 2,500 calorie limit. So it's not a short drive. So I mean, I'm me sitting here. I'm already just getting hungry. And then there's also kind of the boredom factor, where you just eat because you're not really doing anything else. So in combination, both of those two things are probably going to hit me hard. So next chance I get to stop at a gas station, I'm going to make sure to just, I don't know, get like 3 or 4 Gatorade Zeros or something like that, just to sip on. Honestly, I probably wouldn't mind some gum, just as a little, uh, just I don't know, just kind of something to chew on. Mental, maybe it'll feel like I'm eating something. I don't know, not really. I'd say. So what is this now? We're almost like the 3.5 week mark. I'd say right now I'm fully into the cut, into the sense that it's actually becoming, like, it's actually becoming something where I'm, actively eating, a low amount of food. Because that first week, coming off of like the 4,500 calories, I mean, I did not want to eat anything. I'd get to like 6 o'clock and I'd be like, oh, I only had 1,300 calories today. I guess I should eat some more. Right? Like shit like that. But now, I mean, I'm starting to feel it, which is good. That's kind of partially the point of the cut in this context, because it's, acting as like a resensitization for my, my appetite and whatnot. So the fact that I'm feeling hungry, that's a very good thing. So I'd say, oof, well, definitely a month more for sure, another 4 weeks. But honestly, 4 weeks from now, I think I'll be satisfied with the leanness. You got to think the goal of this cut is not to get to like peak leanness or anything crazy like that, or get to 4% or any numerical value. It's really just a break from the bulk. So it's cool to get lean, but honestly, I really feel more satisfied bulking up, in the sense that, when I'm actually bulking, that's when I'm making progress. This cutting part is sort of, in a sense, it's almost like cleaning up the mess of the bulk. Like, move a ton of weight, you put on a ton of mass, but then you also get a little softer. This bulk was a little bit of a bad example, since the last 2 months I was really just kind of maintaining my bulk state. I wasn't really getting like week by week changes, which I'm going to make sure not to repeat on this next one. Every bulk has been more and more serious than the last one, but well, so that means that this next one's going to be legit. So I'd say, 4-ish weeks from now, I'm not really gonna have a day planned. I'll probably just wake up, think to myself, all right, let's fucking bulk. I thought the same thing at the end of the last cut, before the spring bulk, with its notoriety and all. I just kind of woke up one day and I was like, you know what? I think it's time to bulk. Let's get this shit started. So, apart from these 0-calorie drinks I'm about to get, I've only got, 50 more grams of protein for the day. So, no, I missed my turn. Fucking no. No, I've only got 50 more grams of protein. I do have like 70 grams of fat left. Or no. 70 grams of carbs. So, I'm not really sure what I'll eat when I get home. I definitely don't want to eat anything on the road, because I just had some, I guess not really a meal per se. When I was in class, I just had a Quest bar and I left, right after that. Those 21 grams of protein, 8 grams of fat. I think it was 8 grams of fat. I can't remember the macros. And then 4 grams of carbs. It was something like that. So, 200 calories. I guess you wouldn't really conventionally call that a meal, but it's still food. Just because it's not a meal does not mean that those calories do not count in your total daily consumption. You can track the calories of like your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but then if you don't track any of the snacks and like, drinks that aren't like zero sugar in between, then your like quote unquote daily caloric intake could be completely fucking, let's say, fudged from what the actual value is. And that's why with tracking your macros, I mean, you gotta be fucking OCD about it. You know what I'm saying? It's all or nothing, you know. Well, okay, that's not true. I guess you could just track your protein. Honestly, I did that in the honestly for how many years? Many years, like 3-ish years, just main gaining. Like, you know I overcomplicate it in the sense that I'm talking about macros, meal timing, um, different calorie, whatever. You know, for the beginner lifter, I would not even think about any of that yet. You know, that's stuff that you kind of get into over time. You don't just like if you take a class, you don't just start learning everything about the entire topic. You know, you ease into it, and you gradually get smarter and smarter and smarter, right? You shouldn't be expected to know how to ace the final after the first week of class. So, what I would recommend to the beginner is just try to get your gram of protein per pound of body weight, and then, go to the gym, do your lift. It's a perfect method to start. So, I think that's enough diet talk. And I was already talking about that in the little, post-lift meal. So, anybody that's not into hearing about the diet, they're probably just itching for me to talk about something else. So those rows, the seated single arm ones, I did like them, but I didn't really love them. Just because when I do the single arm hammer strength rows, like the first movement I did in the back day before this one, I don't have to like counterbalance myself, because when you're sitting there doing the seated cable rows with one arm, you've got to use your abs to like counteract the torque because the cable is only pulling on one of your arms instead of both at once, right? And it just kind of gives me a weird feeling. That's partially the reason why I don't really love doing bent over dumbbell rows because it kind of torques my, like I can feel my obliques just like firing off, and I just don't love it. So I might throw them in. Honestly, I think it probably would have been better for me to save that movement for like set number 6 or so when I was already sort of pre-exhausted and it wouldn't need so much weight. But as we clearly saw, a badass back pump. And the veins should just continue to get veinier as we progress. You get what I'm saying? So I guess we are making progress in a sense, but I don't know. I think my mind's probably warped, and that I consider progress just to be, gaining lean mass, not necessarily showing off lean mass I've already built. You know, it's that probably plays into the role why I like the bulk more than the cut. But they're both good in their own way. Everything's good in its own way. So tomorrow is going to be arms. I've been liking arms, man. Honestly, I've been liking all of it. I don't even know why I'm saying that specifically about arms, but I'm not sure exactly where I'll go. But I know I'm going to do a ton of push downs. Somebody was telling me that tricep extension. No, what am I saying? Someone was telling me to do skull crushers to my like chin instead of over my head, laying down on the bench. They said it. They said that might feel a little bit better. So when I read that, I was like, hey, you know what? That sounds kind of good. Maybe I'll try that. That should be, well, you got two reactions when someone tells you about an exercise. You can say, all right, that sounds kind of cool. Actually, no, I guess you've got a few reactions. Let's just run through them. All right, that sounds interesting. The way you're explaining it sounds right. Well, let me try for myself. Or, well, I guess there's mainly two. Or, well, that sounds fucking stupid. Maybe I'll try it. In both instances, you should still maybe think about trying it. I guess if it's really stupid, then you can probably write it off. But with all this shit, you can talk all you want about any aspect of training, but if you can't apply it to yourself and get results from it, then who cares? You get what I'm saying? It's just like the results are what really matter. So, I don't care if people give me flack for doing a swinging set of dumbbell curls or eating my Krispy Kreme, whatever. In my mind, I can see how all that stuff has a specific purpose, and going through it will result in a very specific change. Right? Now, if you think to me, if I show you a set of me doing bench and I'm doing them like fucking barely any range of motion at the end of the set, and you say, "Ah, what a fucking asshole," well then, hey man, just prove me wrong. Do your sets with perfect form and get huge. Right? Do all the shit however you want. But ideally, you're going to want to figure out a way to do it in which you can get jacked, right? I think that's everybody's goal. So getting back to arms, yeah, push downs, and a ton of curls. That will probably be all I need. But yeah, somehow I definitely want to get the arms bigger. But other than that, I mean, I just want to get the whole fucking build bigger. So I think that's pretty much all I gotta say. I'm gonna keep going home, get my Gatorade Zero, watch, well, not watch, but just like put a show on and listen to it. And then before I know it, I'll get to be home and pet my dog and the new cat. Honestly, this new cat's kind of an asshole. He's always biting us and stuff. He's only a couple months old. His name's Oliver. I'm starting to think. So he's going to be an outside cat. We kind of had him back and forth, but once he's fully outside, I think he'll sort of be able to let's just say direct his energy towards like catching mice and shit, and then he won't be biting at our feet anymore. But either way, he's pretty cool. I'm sure you'd like him. So that's all I got, man. Arms tomorrow, cardio in the morning. Maybe I'll record it. I don't think a 2 a day is necessary. I'll just make the lift for tomorrow open with the cardio, maybe the ab workout, and then we can actually start arms. So I will freaking see you then.